Okay, so here we are with game three of the final game of the Game Castle 50-point tournament. Um, my opponent for this game only had one list. He just had a Tier 4 Magnus, the Trader list. So when I saw it, I saw just a buttload of troops. I dealt with the Galleon before, so I realized that it didn't scare me that much that I felt like I had to kill it, especially when he didn't have Bart and McNail to give it all the ridiculous rerolls and the boosted damage. Um, so I took out pKrueger for this, just so I can help deal with his troops and things like that. Um, Also, the scenario for this is the outflank scenario. So you have two zones and kind of towards the middle. If you control a zone, you get a control point. If you dominate the zone, you get two. So again, just in case, going over my list again real quick. There's a unit of blood trackers with Nuala. Unit of shifting stones is kind of mixed in with them. The other unit in advanced deployment is a unit of druids with an overseer. Second unit of shifting stones is with them. There's no UA in either. Gallows Grove is way out on the right. And in the normal deployment lines, have a Wold Warden, a Feral Wolfdwarf, a Wold Guardian, and pKrueger. And on to my opponent's list for Magnus. Now, for anyone who plays Mercenaries regularly or plays Magnus, this is weird. Because I didn't realize this until after the game. This wasn't something that I was able to identify um, and pick up on. Um, but he told me when he put this down, he's like, "Yeah, I have a tier 4 Magnus list," and I was like, "All right, cool, man, whatever." Um, so what he put down was a full unit of Boomhowers, the Galleon. He had two Renegades, Magnus the Trader is kind of behind them, and a full unit of Riflemen, Steelhead Riflemen, which I was like, all right, cool. It seemed a little small to me, um, but it wasn't until I was doing the kind of the prep work for this battle report this morning that I realized that there's two things glaring, well, not glaringly wrong, but two things wrong with this list. It's only 40 points. I ran this list through Forward Commander, and it came up with exactly 40 points. The second thing with this is the Tier 4 bonus is having two units of Steelheads, and he only has the one, where he's got the one unit of 10 Riflemen. Um, Even if for some reason he got mistaken thinking that there were two units, he would have 12 Riflemen out there instead of 10. Um, so, I mean, he said that he was a new player. I don't know if it was just something that he got mistaken or what have you. Um, I don't know if he only had the 40 points and went to the TO and was like, "Look, I only have 40 points, but I really want to play. I don't care what my placing is." And then the TO was like, "Look, that's fine. Um, you know, what have you." I really don't know what the story is, but I wanted it just kind of thrown out there just for transparency's sake. I mean, it was afterwards. It wasn't kind of like at the beginning of the game. I was like, "Wait, he's 20% of his army's down." Haha. I had no idea. It did seem a little small to me, but I was like, fuck. There's a Galleon out there. There's Boomhowers are mean. He's got two lights. I mean, for all I know, he's at 50, but apparently he wasn't. Um, so yeah, I mean, these things happen. You can only play against the army that's set up across from you. When he did present me his list, I was more concerned with what was on there rather than adding up all the points and making and kind of doing an audit on the spot. So I mean, I didn't pick it up either but then again, I wasn't really looking to try to like I said, do a complete audit on his list at that point in time. Um, but I mean, we just kind of played. And so because with the in-game effect, he was able to put some spells out on. He was able to put out upkeep spells for free at the beginning of the game, and apparently part of Magnus's thing is that he gets to upkeep them for free. Um, the Boomhowers had Blur on pretty much the entire time. The Galleon had Iron Aggression on the entire time, and the Rifleman had Snipe on for the entire game. He didn't bother swapping them. He didn't bother doing anything. It was just kind of like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how it's going to be. And I was like, all right, cool. So, anyways, on to my turn one. It was one thing that I noticed about this tournament that was really interesting is I won the dice roll to go first every single time. So that was kind of odd. But anyways, so the Blood Trackers ran up into the left-hand zone and into the woods. The Woldstalker following them. I think the Woldstalker gave the Warpwolf lightning tendrils as well as it kind of just as part of its advance up. The Druids yet again walking forward and putting up vortex clouds. And this time the vortex clouds were a little bit more needed, being the fact that the Rifleman had Snipe. The Feral took up position behind them. Unit of Shifting Stones kind of went around the Feral and the Wold Guardian, who also walked up. Krueger just kind of advanced, hiding behind the clouds. And you notice the Gallows Grove also went into one of the clouds, so it can benefit from stealth. The other Shifting Stones. The reason why they were so far back is that's how the Wold Warden got to advance as far as he could. I think what I did is I quickly Geomancied Lightning Tendrils onto the Feral, moved him into the Shifting Stones, and the Shifting Stones teleported him up forward so he can kind of keep up with the Blood Trackers. And the Blood Trackers also have the Boomhowers as their prey. I figured with how tough that they are, and the Blood Trackers are my best unit to deal with a big unit of infantry, I figured they made the most sense. And with the limited amount of stuff that he had, he couldn't afford to just take a unit of Boomhowers and just kind of deny me a prey target. So I knew he had to commit them at some point. So on to Merc's turn one. He just doesn't do a great deal. The Renegades just kind of support each one of the infantry units behind them. The Boomhowers walked up, did some sprays, only killed about a couple Blood Trackers, but nothing too severe. The Riflemen took some shots into the Druids, didn't get anything at all. I mean, the Druids at that point inside their vortexes were defense 18 against shooting, so no real surprise there. The Galleon walked forward, shot its deck guns, didn't really do anything. So yeah, kind of an ineffective first turn for the Mercenaries. So now we go into bottom of turn 2 for Circle. I decided that this was going to be kind of a big turn to really wind down some of those Riflemen. So I move forward the Gallows Grove so I can arc some Chain Lightnings into that unit. Krueger shot through 2 Chain Lightnings through the Gallows Grove, one towards the left, one towards the right, and I hoped with the arcs that I could kind of whittle down the ends and also into the middle as they kind of arc towards the center. It didn't turn out that way. The one on the right killed about 2 of them, and the one that shot the left side of the unit completely missed. So unfortunately, I had to use the Druids to also start whittling them down. That's why there are not nearly as many vortexes out there. There's just the one vortex, keeping the Gallows Grove in stealth. And I had a really derp moment with Krueger. As you can see, he's just kind of standing there with a whole bunch of Shifting Stones around. I realized that the Galleon was getting to the point where it could start firing its harpoon gun. and its deck guns were really getting close to being able to shoot Krueger as well. And I had a really stupid moment where, for some reason, I thought I was playing Morvana. Because I literally thought in my head, it's okay. I have plenty of shifting stones around me, that I have a lot of stacked pawn targets. So in case if I get hit, I can just transfer it onto a shifting stone. I don't know why. I mean, Morvana is one of my favorite casters, and I use her a lot. But I don't know why my brain decided to mix up the casters at all. It was really, really bizarre. But anyways, onto the left flank. The Feral, as you can see, just kind of walked up to the left and riled. The Wold Warden, I believe he shot a chain lightning into the Boomhowers, and when one of them went into Boomhauer himself, I believe he tried to boost the damage. I don't know if I could or if I boosted a hit, one of the two. And the Blood Truckers walked up, threw some javelins into the Boomhowers that weren't directly behind the wall. Killed some of them, knocked a few of them down. Nothing too severe. So we go on to Mercenaries turn 2. And oh dear God, there's a Galleon in my face. Sorry if that scared anybody with the hysterical yelling. But no, and this is also something that shouldn't have happened. But I don't own a Colossal or a Gargantuan. I don't know all their little ins and outs. But basically, what he did was he moved the Boomhowers behind the wall, still shooting some sprays at the Blood Trackers. The Riflemen just kind of stood there, took some shots at the Druids, killing a couple of them. The Renegades both walked up. Oh, actually, Magnus walked over and popped his feet, so that at the end of everyone's activation, his entire battle group gets to advance or run after everyone's done. So what he did is that, seeing that Krueger was kind of out there by himself, he shot all of his Warjacks, both of the Obliterator rockets, all of the deck guns, and the Harpoon into Krueger. Both of the Obliterator rockets scattered way off target, thankfully. The deck guns, he didn't get a lot of them. I think out of the 2d3 that he was able to get, he only got 3 of them. One of the deck guns actually did hit, but it only did like 4 points of damage, so I didn't even bother transferring it. And the Harpoon also missed. One of the things that I think he probably could have done, which would have helped him with all those AoEs, start targeting the shifting stones and just doing splash damage onto Krueger, because he doesn't have that high armor. But I don't know if he just didn't want to, or what have you. So after all their activations were done, he took run moves for all of his jacks. So he took the Galleon, moved him straight into Krueger, which is something you can't do, because I learned after the game that Colossals cannot make any sort of moves out of their normal activation, even with feats and things like that. So that's kind of interesting, which is thankfully very good. So they're not that mobile as this picture would have you seem. And the Renegade the 2 Renegades moved up to engage my units. You can see the one engaging a Blood Tracker and the Wold Warden. The other one is engaging the unit of Druids, which is behind the Galleon. So the Galleon should be at about kind of the center line. Yeah. So that, I mean, so when you see the next picture, there isn't a next picture. I'm sorry, I forgot to take a picture of the last turn. So we go on to circle turn 3. So basically what happens is the Druids split some of their fire, Some of them force bolted the renegade that was engaging the unit. One of them force bolted it out of melee with it, and then a second one hit it, knocked it down. The Wold Warden did his chain attack smite on the renegade that was over to the left. So it was completely knocked down and out of the way. The Wold Guardian walked over to the Galleon and just started beating the crap out of it. It did enough damage with its, basically it's 5. Yeah, when it's fully tapped out on Fury, it does 5 power strength 17 attacks. It completely destroyed its left side of all of its damage boxes, and then the Feral Wolf charged in and did all the damage on the right side. And at that point, he just kind of took his hands and he's like, "All right, we're done. He was like, "Yeah, I can't do anything from this." And I don't really blame him, because all that was going to happen was either the shifting stones were going to teleport, or Krueger was going to walk out of from where he was into the zone on our right. First thing he was going to do is that he was going to pop his feet, lay down 3 of his lightning lightning templates, trying to clip all the steelheads, most likely killing them all. And I should have been able to do that and also cast lightning tendrils again onto the blood trackers, and then they were going to charge in, either finish off or really, really damage the boom howlers to the point that they weren't going to be able to do anything. And then I would have been able to take their reform back into the left zone, so I would have had that one as a control, most likely dominating the right one. So I would have been, at the end of this turn, he would have been down a Colossal. Both of his Warjacks were down and pretty damaged. And he would have had like Magnus left, and he was even saying that he thought that both of his Renegades were out of Magnus's control area, so he didn't think that he'd be able to even give them focus to stand them up. So he was like, "That's game." And he just kind of extended the hand and just said it was done. So that was it. When we go on to the last picture, there's my little certificate for first place for the Steamroller tournament, my little coin. And no, I don't have shag rug carpeting in my apartment. It's a blanket. But anyways, I don't know why I felt that I needed to make that distinction. But anyways, so it might have, some people might be like, "Yeah, your last round you only played a 40-point illegal tier 4 list." But, I can only play against the armies that put across the table from me. I can't pick and choose my opponents. So, for the rest of the standings, there was a Legion player who came in second, and the Mercenaries player who I played in round 3 ended up coming in third. So he only had 40 points, but the fact that he came in third, being 10 points down from the rest of the field, is pretty damn good. I don't know if that just speaks to the strength of the Galleon. I'm not 100% sure. But bravo to him, to being able to do that, at 20% down of what he should have been. So that's it for this turning report. Like and subscribe, all that crap that everyone begs you to do for these YouTube things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having more of these tournament reports, more in kind of the New England area. I'm willing to kind of travel out of state, so it's not only going to be in New Hampshire, but there definitely should be some in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, with the infamous Temple Games crew that put on TempleCon, Maine, possibly Vermont. I haven't heard too much rumblings from Vermont, but maybe I might be able to get something from up there as well. So, all right, thank you guys for watching, and I will have more content up for you soon. Thanks.